Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me here again today at Re-Written Vintage Homestead. And we are on week 2 of the Pantry Challenge, Three Rivers Challenge, that's put on by Three Rivers Homestead. And I dug all over my freezer trying to find things that I could use this week. And I found this pound of bologna. And I'm going to make some ham salad. I don't know why it's not called bologna salad, but it's called ham salad. And I have this very old grinder that I got at a garage sale back in the 80s. And it still works like a charm. And Marshall's there over my shoulder just hoping a piece of bologna hits the floor. So after I get the bologna ground up, I had some homemade pickles that I diced up, some onions, and some hard-boiled egg, and then I add salt and pepper. You can also put celery in there if you'd like. And then you add about 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise and a tablespoon or 2 of mustard. Once again, it just depends on your taste. So usually I mix everything up well, and then if I need a little more salt and pepper, I'll add that. If I need a little more mayonnaise taste or a little more mustard, I'll add that. But like I said, it's just all dependent on your taste. This is really good on crackers, on celery, but we like to have it for dinner or for lunch, and that's why I made it. I thought we could have it for dinner on this night, but we could snack on it for lunch throughout the week. So I had some buns, and I just spread the salad on the buns, and I had some chips, big old glass of milk, and I wanted something else to go with it too, since we were having this for dinner. So in my refrigerator, I found a jar of mandarin oranges and some cheese. So I just sliced up the cheese and dished out the oranges, and we had a very nice meal. And then you could have that again, like I said, for lunch or snacks throughout the week. Next, I wanted to make something that we could have for breakfast and for snacks. So I decided to make some oatmeal chocolate chip muffins. I decided to add the oatmeal so that we would get more fiber and it would be more filling. So I just had 1 cup of flour, all-purpose white flour. And to that, I'm going to add some oatmeal. And that's just the regular cooking oats, about 1/2 cup. Mix that together, and then I'm going to add 1/4 cup of sugar and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. You don't have to add salt, but you can add salt if you'd like to. And I put in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can also use whole wheat flour if you'd like to use whole wheat flour. I had white on hand, and I'm trying to cook from my pantry. So I just mixed up all of my dry ingredients. Then I'm going to beat 1 egg. And you're going to add that to your dry ingredients. half a cup of milk. And 1/3 cup of oil. I used vegetable oil, but you could use avocado oil, olive oil, whatever you have on hand. And you just beat and beat and beat and beat. Get some exercise with those arms. I've got my oven preheating right now to 350. Make sure you scrape the sides of the bowl. Get those real well. Then I'm going to add a half a cup of chocolate chips. Maybe more. Mix that together well, and then you're going to grease your muffin pan. You can use Crisco, you can use Pam, you can use vegetable oil, whatever you have. And fill your muffin cups about 2/3 full. I have not been able to cook anything in my life without using my hands or my fingers. Now I always take my finger at the end and I kind of swirl the top of each muffin so that it's nice and flat. And then I'm going to bake that in a 350-degree oven for 18 to 20 minutes. Look how nice those turned out, nice and brown. And they really do get a nice crown on them too. And that's what we had for breakfast and snacks. What do you do when all you can find is Spam and a mishmash of pasta? Well, I'll show you. You should always have Spam in your cupboard. It never goes bad. And I think it tastes delicious. And there's a lot of meals you can make out of Spam. So the first trick is to get it out of the container. And everybody has a different way of doing it. But I'm just going to take the Spam and I'm going to dice it up into small pieces. I love it fried on bread. I love it in casseroles. I love Spam. Next thing I'm going to do is, as you can see, I have wagon wheel pasta. I have the regular macaroni kind of pasta, and I'm just going to cook what I have there in some hot boiling water. And then I'm going to add that to my Spam. Just mix that up. Now over on my stove, I have a stick of butter that has melted. And to that, I'm going to add half a cup of flour. And just mix that up until it makes a roux and it's slightly bubbling. Starting to get brown and it's bubbly. So I'm adding my salt and pepper. No specific measurements there, I'm just adding to taste. I'm adding a cup of milk, just a little at a time. You can also use half and half if you like that. It'll give you a little creamier taste. And you're just going to keep stirring that until it gets hot and starts to boil somewhat. You don't want it sticking to the bottom though, so keep it moving. There you go. Now it's nice and bubbling. I had a 8-ounce container of Velveeta cheese, and I ended up cutting that in half and only using 4 ounces of it because I'm trying to preserve so I don't have to go to the store, and I'll use the other 4 ounces for another recipe. But I just diced up my Velveeta. If you have shredded cheddar cheese, you could use that. Whatever cheese you have is fine. And I'm just going to keep that stirred until it's melted. Then I'm going to add it to my Spam and my macaroni. Just mix it up well. Doesn't that look good? You could add onions, you could add peas, you could add carrots. If you want to add more vegetables to it, it would taste delicious. Just mix that up so all the macaroni is coated. Then I have a 9 by 11 inch pan that I have greased, and I'm pouring my macaroni and cheese and Velveeta into it. Now I'm taking a 1/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs or panko, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter, stick it in the microwave, and stir it up. And I'm going to sprinkle that all over my casserole. That gives it a little bit of a crunch on top. You can also use potato chips and butter. That's really good too. So we'll have this for dinner, and then we'll also eat it for lunch throughout the week. We have no problem eating leftovers around here. Oh, look at that. It looks so good. And we're going to have green beans, bread and butter,